Hello everyone and welcome to episode 6 of the Very Hard Neither campaign. So I'm picking up right where I left off a few minutes. There might not be a showcase for this video, first of all, because, well, I just don't have any new vehicles to show. At least at the time of recording. Maybe I'll have something by the time I edit the video, but I wouldn't count on it. But there is still a lot to do. First of all, I did miss the clock last time, so I'm going to show it right now. We are 5 hours, almost 10 minutes into the campaign so far. And the plan for this episode is to just keep pumping the south and the west full of lead and high explosives. That should be relatively easy. We've already taken on a bulwark. So unless we see something like a palisade, an iron cordon, maybe a trebuchet, it should be pretty easy, so I might reduce it to a bit of a montage. I think the Deepwater Guard should be on its last legs. We've smashed a lot of stuff already, but we never know because, well, I've been seeing flying squirrels coming out of the south side of the map time after time, so maybe there's something that can still build out there. We'll see. And the other plan is to take a step forward and take this zone from the Twin Guard, which is not going to make the Steel Striders happy. We've been on a bit of a ceasefire, actually. They consider us allies for now. And, well, the Twin Guard has just been happily sending us Nest of Bees and Manticores over and over, but I don't trust it. I want to move forward. I'm going to take this zone and I'm going to keep an eye on what they're building, because the next step after we clear out basically the southwest quadrant of the map is going to be the north, and that's going to be a big one. So anyway, I'll see you momentarily when we've got a real fight on our hands. I wouldn't call this a real fight, air quotes, but you know, we're gonna start off by swatting a bunch of the Deepwater Guard all at once. And that should be fun. Some nice, simple fun. Block confetti type of fun. Let's move the laser and Terry's closer. Let's just start. Where are they? What are we shooting at? That, well, the little screen there is actually the laser clipping a wing from the laser Antares. That's a lot of small missiles, but whatever. That must be the rapier, right? That would be the biggest threat on the map right now, but Arcturus should be able to handle that real easily. Oh, that's a couple of shells bouncing off the water. Unfortunate. Oh, yeah. That one didn't bounce. And a couple of torpedoes for good measure. It's still alive. Well, congratulations. That must be the fishing hole. Or the fisherman's outpost or something. It's also about to be very dead. And that's a laser and Terry's bullying another strike, and that's the fight over. That went well, but I didn't expect otherwise. Alright, I felt like I should point out that we are about to take the final resource zone from the white Flayers. Not that they've been able to fight back anymore, they can't produce. And usually, you know, I would ignore the villages, but High Loreham has a Church of the Flayed God, a Sacrificer, a Bloodstone Obelisk, and the Ecclesia Montem. I don't think we can let that stand, so that might be coming next. But for now, just another monastery.
Listening. Listening.
Here we go.
Listening.
On board, something like that. Of course, if I move the vehicle, I don't stick with it for whatever reason. Alright. The final monastery. Still the church in High Loreham, but this should be the unofficial end of the White Flayers. Finally. Now, all that remains is High Loreham. Jerome here. So Shadowplay has betrayed me one too many times. So if you feel something different about the footage, that's because I just changed to a different recording software. Now, I also recorded part of this episode straight after the other, so I also didn't have your comments about my commentary as opposed to edited footage with some music in the background. So between this and that, there's likely at least one last montage coming up. So sorry about that, but hopefully it'll be a lot better for the future. Also, you're probably getting an extra long episode as an extra gift/apology, so enjoy! So I just learned something. This was not the fishing hole. This is the fishing hole over there, and as you can see, it has build jobs. And indeed, it's listed here. So I guess the Deepwater Guard isn't quite dead yet, although they're really unable to challenge anything I've made. So yeah, they're still gonna die, but they're not quite dead yet, as I thought. But instead, we're going to be looking at the Onyx Watch because, well, bulwark, bulwark, bulwark. And that is a ton of smaller designs just all over the place. Over here too, although they're not bulwarks, but basically they've been building up their forces while I left them alone with the Deepwater Guard, and there's just a bunch of stuff everywhere. So I'm probably not going to comment every bulwark battle because, well, we've seen how the last one went. It was relatively easy, but still, there's just so much to blow up. Anyway, so I'll get set up for some bulwark fights, and, well, expect another Doomsday montage, I guess, for the, well, Doomsday for the Onyx Watch anyway. See you in a moment. Alright, so the last time I attacked this fleet with the Shalas, my ego took a lot of damage and I had to retreat. So now I'm back with a Regulus, an Arcturus, and a Sirius, and hopefully we can disassemble and strip for parts this fleet, and yeah, take a good shot at the Onyx Watch. So here we go. And I don't think I can click on all the little swords. Sure, why not? Did I miss one? I think I missed one. Whatever. This is quite a bit larger than what I usually do, so I don't think I'm going to push it, especially since I just changed my software. Anyway, let's go. Let's see. This should be pretty interesting. They have the numbers, and I'm pretty sure I have the quality. You have quantity, I have quality. I'm on pause, so that's why nothing is happening. I am inside the vehicle. Alright. We have just the Regulus spawned in for now. Let's take a look. So far, they look like they're doing fine. I can't imagine that lasting for very long, though. Blocks falling off 2 of their ships. They're not firing a lot at me. I would have expected to see a lot more just volume of fire, given the number of vehicles, but I'll take it if there's just less stuff or less damage coming my way. Yeah, Regulus's lambs just completely negating the incoming damage. And that looks like one of them is probably dead. It's a lot of blocks, and I saw the turret turn away, so that's probably the AI dead. Well, there's just too many for me to know which one is which. Just a lot of damage being handed out and split across all the targets. Not ideal, tactically, but we're doing just fine, so... Now, hopefully there aren't any super huge waves. I think I did tweak this Regulus in particular to pay attention to wave altitude. Well, anyway, it's fine. It can get out of the water, so no harm, no foul. How are they doing? It seems like a whole lot of nothing. I think they're all quite damaged, perhaps crippled even. But none of them are quite dead yet. It's mildly annoying. Oh, that's not great. In the water with cram cannons firing at me. It's okay? Question mark? I hate basically the sea around the Onyx Watch. I might have to tweak the breadboard on the Regulus again just because of that. Need to hover just a little bit higher. But hey, at least I feel validated for having all of this attention to being able to get the hover tank out of the water on its own. That's just not me. That's just me not necessarily over-engineering things. I think the Arcturus spawn, or maybe that's the Sirius. That's just so far away. That's definitely an Arcturus. There's shell incomings. And I'm a bit confused. That's the oil refinery, isn't it? Looks like it's going to be gone very shortly. Yep. I called it. Didn't jinx it this time. And that's another lag spike that might be an Onyx Watch vehicle spawning. That's another wave being very annoying. The Arcturus in the background doing some work. presumably. Let's take a look. Closer look. Definitely doesn't quite have the output of the Regulus, obviously. It's a lot smaller. But with the Pendef shells, it might actually do a lot more per shot. Just fires a lot slower too. Doesn't quite have the same penetration. Boom, boom, boom. Yeah, that's definitely going a lot better than when I attacked this with just 3 Sholas. Didn't expect the Sholas to struggle so much, but I guess the volume of fire was just too much for them. They're much smaller vehicles by comparison. So it's not entirely surprising. I wonder if I'll get the Sirius anytime soon. In play, I mean. Yeah, that's a despawning ship, I believe. They were just... Oh, another lag spike. That's probably the last of the Onyx Watch and possibly the Sirius spawning at the same time. I'm not sure. Oh, was that? No, it didn't quite ram it, but it came close. The Regulus might actually ram something if it gets close enough. Just because it's set to actually change target if something gets really close to it. But because there's just so many ships, it might target something else, come close to a ship, and then decide that that thing is too close and to just melee it. Just a little bit too fast for me to get a good shot at the rams, but they are there. Retractable fangs. Or claws, or whatever. They're rams, but whatever. Imagery, you know. Yeah, the Onyx Watch is turning into a bit of a grind. I mean... Block confetti is block confetti, can't complain about that, but not as much fun as I'd like, because they just have so many ships and they pose such a small threat, especially this late into the campaign. Well, I missed that, but yeah, very dead, very, very dead. Alright, moving on to the next fight. So we've been in range of High Loreham for a little bit now, and I was planning on saving it for a future episode, but since I'm going for an extra long episode instead, let's just kind of take care of it and erase the last traces of heresy from near. Because, yeah, can't have that. Special treatment for extra heresy. Yeah, sure, let's just go like that, I guess. And on pause, and shift the camera, and a bit of a lag spike, and let's go. Oh, that's a bit laggier than I'd like. Actually, it's settled. Mostly. There are technically defenses, but they're actually not firing. So... well... I'll take it. I mean, they have guns, so this is justified. Not my fault if they don't have ammo. Shields look a bit odd. Not gonna lie. Kind of breaks the scenery a little bit. Laser and Terry is just kind of... yeah. Picking away at the structures. Oh, that's really weird. I'm guessing those are the foundations and they're under the map. And so when they're destroyed, they just kind of pop up? Maybe? I don't know. I'm a little bit confused. And, okay, I was gonna say, is the Arcturus not firing? Oh, yeah. ignoring the land. Remove the center structure. One turret. Yeah, that one's been decapitated, I guess. And this one is not drawing fire, strangely enough. Whoa, that's a bit fast. Might have... did I change my speed setting? I don't know. Anyway. Guess I'm gonna try not to do that again. That made even me a little bit dizzy. Oh, ain't that lovely? Yep. Yep. We're removing that. Replacing it with shrines to the Omnissiah. Because that's just unacceptable. Look how inhumane that is. Much better to worship the machines. Wouldn't you agree? I would agree. I agree with me. Pew! Well then. Oh, that's the turret getting finished off, I guess. And some buildings. Almost there, I guess. Taking a moment to just look through these things. They are really well made, gotta say. A little bit damaged. Really nicely built. Gotta give them that at the very least. Are those the same? They look the same. Well, that's just interesting. Just an AI up there. Another one gone. Another big piece of metal getting stripped. Yeah, those are all the same, I think. Or are they? Yeah, there's only two different houses, I guess. Then there was the obelisk. Looks kind of cool, gotta say. No real interior, I guess. Well then. Where is... I don't see lasers anymore. That's mildly concerning, actually. Somehow it's damaged? And I'm not sure where it is. Oh, it's... looks fine, I guess. It's just over there. Oh, yeah. That's the damage. I'm guessing it's scraped against the terrain at some point. It is a burst laser, so it's not going to be firing all the time, but feels like it's been a little bit too long since the laser fired. This is a bit weird to me. Ah, there we go. Ooh. Did a decent bit of damage. On a tiny plane, that would be pretty devastating, as we've seen before. I guess on just an obelisk, it's not quite as significant. Only 3 left, though. Almost there. Still pondering, because I want a bigger support vehicle slash glass cannon, if I can call it that. And I have one. If you've watched my streams on the release, on the Steam store page. I do have something called the Vega, which I kind of like, but I kind of don't. I want to rebuild it, and yeah, it's a big damage dealing vehicle that's meant to support something like the Regulus. But yeah, I want to rebuild it, so I don't really want to use the current version, but it would have helped make this quite a bit faster. Anyway, it's done now. So, well, moving on again. Next fight. So the Deepwater Guard are on their last leg, but they sure aren't giving up. So, Dorado against 3 Sholas. Who will win? Place your bets.
Listening.
Let's start. Sorry about that. And let's just go, actually. Boom, and bang, and pow. What is the Dorado already? I think it's a pretty... well, it's definitely an airship. It actually looks kind of pretty, so let's take a look, shall we? And the deep blue seas, and the big missiles, and that's a disaster. Yeah, the Deepwater Guard, ladies and gentlemen. Goodbye. Alright, we had a quick snack of the Deepwater Guard. Now we have a chunky Onyx Watch stew. Yeah. It's a bit of stuff. We're kind of low on resources, but what could possibly go wrong? Boom, boom, boom. I don't care. Let's just go. Oh, I'm zoomed in. Alright. Bang. Is that really... That still looks like the sea from the Deepwater Guard territory. But there are some decent waves. It's definitely Onyx Watch. Onyx Watch land or seas. Don't go into the water, please. You did. Hit a wave. That is so annoying. And honestly, it's kind of a problem for the Onyx Watch themselves. It's just annoying, really. Whee! Still a lot of missile trails. Some nice block confetti. And a bit of salt water because of the high waves, but hey. That's cute. And a bit derpy. Boink, boink. Still firing. Give them props for trying. But, well, actually, no. Don't give them props for trying. It was stupid. Stupid move of them. If they were gonna attack me, they should have done so from the start, but... I guess the AI still doesn't like taking neutral territory. If you're at war, for whatever reason. It's kind of weird. Weird quirk. Might have changed. Might change in the future. Well, probably. It should change, definitely, because it's making things a little bit easier than they should be, but still. Regulus just happily firing away. Definitely not hitting waves. Definitely not hitting waves. So pretty. Is this thing just kind of dead in the water? Doesn't look like it's moving. There's still propeller trails, water bubbles, or whatever. I guess the torpedoes really won this one. Oh, that's some lag. I'm not sure what just spawned. I have no idea. Was it the Arcturus? It was the Arcturus. Not sure why the game lags so much when something spawns. I mean, something big spawns, I get it, but something like an Arcturus isn't that big. And I mean, don't have the best hardware, but hey, you know, it's not the worst either, so that's pretty beat up. But it's still kind of functional. Turret's really freaking out though. We just have so much stuff that they've accumulated over time. Kind of a grind. Kind of a grind. I know I've said that earlier, but something that would be really good for the campaign would be if the AI actually took its ships that it built before and either retrofit or scrap them and built different stuff. You know, it's called the strategic AI and the adaptive AI because it technically builds stuff based on how it's been doing against you and whatever, but I don't know. If you have like 100,000 material ships and someone's coming at you with fleets worth almost 1 million, might want to consider at least, you know, turning those ships into slightly bigger ships. Might still end very poorly for them, mind you. It's the Onyx Watch against hover tanks, but hey, gotta give it a better try, right? They can put up a better fight than this, right? Another bit of a lag spike, I guess. Sirius must have spawned. And yeah, it spawned because everything else is dead, basically. They had the advantage, but yeah. Anyway, moving on. The Deepwater Guard just won't learn. Let's just smash them again. Begin the battle and blah blah blah. And that should be over ridiculously quickly. Yeah, you can't do this, Deepwater Guard. I know you're pirates and all, but like, are you even trying? This doesn't qualify as trying to me. It's just, yeah. There's no participation prize here. Well, there is. It's called Ordnance. Congratulations. You're winning a lot of it. Probably more than you deserve. There's doors on top. That's weird. There's hatches now. It is an older design, though. And now it's a dead design. Well, not the design, but you get what I mean. Welcome to Ohm's weather forecast for today. Nice calm seas, a few clouds, a nice breeze, and a risk of missiles. Have a good day. Yep. Game's struggling momentarily. Oh, I didn't hit the pause button. Or the unpause button in this case. That's a Falkenheim, I believe. About to take a lot of fire. Is it already going down? Not sure how, but now it's definitely going down. Large missiles missed. That's just unfortunate. Hey, it's trying. Definitely trying, but... Oh, they're still gliding. They might still hit. Unless that's a new volley. Oh, that's... just sad. Oh, yeah. You okay there? I know your rotor is damaged, but you should be fine? Question mark? Falkenheim, like, miraculously getting away with some pretty heavy bombardment, but whatever. Now it's hiding behind the hill, which is a bit annoying, gotta say. Actually, you know what? We're gonna be taking control of this, I think, and, well, I'm gonna wait for this volley to hit, I guess, and then I am going to drive around that hill and say hello to the Falkenheim. Oh yes. And I'm gonna refrain from trying to fire the weapons manually just because the little clicking sound really gets on my nerves when holding down the key. But yeah, that worked. Now we're shooting the Falkenheim again and not hitting the hill, which also means that we might have better detection on it. I'm not sure actually if terrain blocks line of sight for detection. I would assume so, but I've never actually tested that. I mean, it blocks shells and lasers and a lot of stuff, so hardly matters, but... Oh, that's some interesting... Yeah. Because this one's in the water. Wow. I don't think I've seen such a relatively small Deepwater Guard design take this much fire before it died. I must have missed everything important on it. But now, it's about time the Deepwater Guard was deprived of its ability to rebuild, basically. I'm pretty sure this is the last outpost that can build. Oh wow, that was... That missile went through the gantry, through the poles, and the beams and supports and everything, and hit the cat, apparently, because he's just throwing a fit very suddenly. Apologies for that. See, he's having another closed door fit. Let's just pretend these are the cries of the Deepwater Guard, because they're about to have their toys taken away. Anyway. If the sound cuts off, that's because I'm getting a little bit annoyed with the cat. Come on now. You guys were, well, kind of dead for all intents and purposes like 2 episodes ago, so... I think it was 2 episodes ago anyway. Oh, it's getting repaired. That's just so annoying. Maybe I should make them shoot the, well, they're shooting the gantry, but I don't think it's on purpose. They're trying to shoot the gun through the gantry. Well, there it finally goes. Just one more to go. That's kind of nice. Nice little supports there. Missiles, missiles, missiles. Missiles, missiles. I need more missiles. Because this is taking too long. You don't have any weapons, do they? And that technically fire? Is that aiming or is that just built towards the side? I think it's just built towards the side. Boom, boom, boom. That's a lot of containers, actually. Doesn't look out of place, but... I don't know why I'm being so critical. Big missile, big boom. Another one. And I kind of wish they targeted the main tower, I guess, because I'm pretty sure the AI is in there. I think. Yeah, it's definitely in there. I might go for it manually. I really hate that sound. But please target this so we can move on. There we go. Is it gone? Better be gone. It is. And let me guess, there's another one. No, there wasn't. Okay, good. And with that, the Deepwater Guard's ability to build has been removed. Nice. So now I just need to watch out if there are, you know, any combat units remaining. Other than that, they're functionally dead. And I'm not sure I need to bother with getting every resource zone at this point. I've got just so many. Anyway. You know, despite being not very challenging, aside from the waves just kind of jumping out and catching into the hover tanks jets and bringing them into the water, yeah, the Onyx Watch, despite all of that, I'm just so annoyed with them. So I've decided to end them, and I'm gonna make an example out of them. I brought 3 Regulus, 2 Arcturus, and a Sirius. And yeah, I'm ending this with overwhelming force, with absolute, like, complete abuse at this rate, I guess. But yeah. As you can see, I actually have more forces than them. Yeah, on the battlefield, words are hard. So, complete smash. My units aren't that big, so the fact that I have the advantage when also fighting their main fortress, should be pretty indicative of how bad this is for them. Torpedo, torpedo, torpedo. Now, unfortunately... Well, I say unfortunately. Yeah. The scale of this battle is just so much. I don't think I can afford to spawn in more at once. Or can I? And I'm gonna risk it. Might lag the game a little bit, but... like 70,000 blocks? Not the biggest jump, but it is a jump, definitely. It's not that bad. Apart from spawns and despawns. Oh man. This is the little building. I don't know why, but every HQ seems to have secondary building that's much smaller. Yeah, this one is just it's very, very dead, I would guess. What do I actually have in play? That's 2 regulars at once. And this thing is actually kind of below sea level, I guess, because even on the lower part of the waves, well, I guess... yeah, I guess it's kind of just above the water, but the waves... the sea is just so angry in the Onyx Watch territory. Oh yeah. Nice. Bombardment, missile bombardment, block confetti, disintegration, and now the HQ for the final clap. Final hoorah, giving them far too much credit, and oh, it's choking. It is choking. Okay, not that bad actually. Just took a second to spawn. And of course, there's a Regulus that's immobilized because of the waves, just taking it, but that's why I brought Overwhelming Force. I don't even care if you destroy one. At this price, at this point. At this price, it's kind of, you know, not ideal, because it is my most expensive vehicle, but I also have so many resources at this point, and I haven't been capturing anything, so yeah, it's just utterly hopeless for them. For the Onyx Watch, at least. We'll see how it goes against the last factions, but yeah, the Onyx Watch is definitely in for it. This is just an absolute beatdown. It's a bit of a beatdown on my computer too, but it's, I guess it could be worse. Since I've changed my recording software, I wonder how lag affects it. Hopefully it behaves better than the shadow play. Crashing and stuttering. That was just soul crushing, really. That's a big turret, and it doesn't seem to fire. Oh, that's... oh, I'm not sure why there's more lag suddenly. Did another one of my vehicles spawn? No, they haven't. So I'm not sure what the heck. Oh yeah, that's just... little stutter. A lot of blocks falling off. Very nice building. Well, it would be a very nice building. It's getting renovated actively and aggressively. Yeah. Goodbye, Onyx Watch. I would say it's been a pleasure, but it really hasn't. More like a grind. Well, it did manage to bite back a little bit, I guess. Well, that's less than ideal. But the Regulus don't care. That's actually not that much damage for the Regulus. Nowhere near enough to bring it down. Now this one seems to be particularly unhappy with its current situation. It's not a submarine. Despite the fact that it's so heavy, I would expect it to rise up again. I'm not sure how it managed to sink that far with so little damage. It's trying. And not quite. Yeah, the waves will definitely give the Regulus trouble. I might make some tweaks, try to fix that. Although, I don't think it's going to happen very much outside of Onyx Watch territory. I think it's one of the worst ones for the height of the waves. Could be wrong, though. And, you know, I'm sure there's room for improvement, despite the fact that I did put a lot of love into the Regulus. It's just straight back into a wave. Thankfully, it just doesn't matter. The Lambs is more than enough to cope with... Whoa, that jumped a little bit further forward than I would have hoped. Yeah, the Lambs is just enough to deal with whatever is remaining of the firepower, really, which is not a lot. A lot of small missiles for a good measure. They're mostly for anti-air, but whatever, can't hurt. Or rather, it still hurts. We might be... Oh, I thought it was going to be worse than that. By worse than that, I mean I thought it was still higher HP than it actually is. It might actually die soon? Air quotes? Hopefully? Thankfully? Ooh. Okay, I thought something important had been hit because of the lag spike. No, nothing else spawned. Ah, well. No, that's just annoying. And that's gonna make the fight last longer. High waves. Who would have thought? The bane of hover tanks. Not terrain. Not water. Well, not just regular water, but waves. Just being really, really, really freaking annoying. Arcturus or Sirius? Can probably bring in the Arcturus. Sirius would probably work decently, but since its biggest armament is torpedoes and this thing is just above the water, it might end up in disappointment. And I can only tolerate so much disappointment. Oh, this is pretty much over. 2%. Yeah, and with that, the Onyx Watch finally falls. Gonna get a victory message anytime now. Anytime now. Well, I think it has to disintegrate first, but hey. A man can dream. Yeah, there we go. It's achievement and lag spike and disintegration, and eventually the battle will end and we'll get the victory message. Onyx Watch godly. Ah, yes. Just breaking apart. Mm-hmm. Anytime now. Almost there. That is so many blocks. There we go. Black gold. The oil barons of the Onyx Watch have long lorded over the vast oil resources of the Cold Law. Greedily, they look down upon the masses from the high walls of their castles, deciding who could have access and who couldn't. With their control now released, the oil fields and its riches are yours to distribute as you see fit. If the other factions didn't know of your presence, they surely do now. Strong reactions, both positive and negative, are to be expected. Well, considering half of them are already gone, I don't know about that. And the Steel Striders don't seem to care too much right now, but they probably will once I finish off the Twin Guard. Oh yes. This is how the map looks now. And with this, the factions of the south have no more military infrastructure. The Deepwater Guard and the Onyx Watch have some vehicles left, but they are scattered, weak, and not really a threat anymore. The Twin Guard is also mostly down to their headquarters. And the clock reads a little over 7 hours. So, in the next episode, the war for the North starts. Thank you for watching. Bye bye.